July the 8th of 2014. Let the record reflect that we're going to be conduct business at our council meeting, our regular council meeting. Welcome everyone for coming in, and hopefully we will have a great time tonight at our council meeting. And now we're going to have the 2014 summer YOB interns that going to conduct us with the pledge of allegiance, and followed by Commander Timothy Belcher with the invocation.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Let us all bow. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this opportunity to be here today. We ask that you bless each and every one of us, everyone in the community, all the kids that are growing up to become adults. We ask that you guide us, make right decisions, great decisions for this city and as a family as in whole. We ask that you bless and keep each and every one of us safe from all diseases, injuries, aches and pains, sicknesses and illness. We ask that you guide us, Lord, to that great light. With this we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
A personal note of thanks to the YOB interns. I was a YOB intern in 1985.
Mr. City Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Bien-Aimé.
Here.
Councilman Galvin.
Here.
Councilwoman Steril.
Here.
Councilwoman Keys.
Here.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Mr. City Manager, is there any addition, deletion to the agenda?
Special presentation. Sorry, Mayor. Special presentation on the CAFA is removed. We had that at the last council meeting. And recognition by Miami-Dade Fire Rescue Department would be part of the hurricane preparedness. So there would be 3 special presentations.
Okay, we won't have the presentation from the audit firm.
No.
No, okay.
Did not see him. He's here.
We had it last
I
council.
know. I just said that I saw.
Yeah, he
Okay.
came for the CRA meeting.
Okay. Now special presentation. Good evening again, and I think we have 5 special presentations tonight. And the first one, it's an award recognitions to the North Miami Police Department, the motor unit officers. To present the first recognition this evening, I would like to invite the Chief of Police to come forward.
Thank you, Mayor. As we present this, could the motorcycle unit please come forward, as well as the executive command staff? They had an outstanding year. And as we're coming up, to make it brief, because I was told about my 5-minute limit. With that being said, and as you're preparing the pictures and the greetings and everything else, what was accomplished this year was the State of Florida Law Enforcement Liaison Awards that was issued on June 26th through the 27th. And what happened was our motorcycle unit for the city of North Miami competed against every other agency in the state of Florida, and they won first place in the DUI enforcement, which is driving under influence enforcement. They won first place. And just to give you an idea, the second place was Florida Highway Patrol. So just let you know the type of productivity that we have here, as well as the professionalism They also won first place in a program that was initiated, was what's called Click It and Ticket Seatbelt Wave. That was another one they won as well, the program that was instituted here, ensuring the safety and education, so make sure everybody click it and ticket with seatbelts. And he also won first place in the overall champions division. And you must have won traffic unit of the year in 2012 to be able to compete in this. So they competed against every agency in the state of Florida, regardless of the size, and that is the traffic unit of the year winner. And it's the best against the best, and they won it, the motorcycle traffic unit. Job well done, congratulations. In addition, what happened earlier on June 11th, though, was Mothers Against Drunk Driving Awards. That was an annual that we compete as well within the state of Florida. So also at this time, if there's a member from our public service aides, which is part of our traffic safety unit, if they could come up, as well as Honorable Officer Stewart or Sherry here, because they won awards as well for our Explorer program, and I don't know if Officer Miguel Pineda is here. But what was won here on behalf of the North Miami Police Department, and I once again give kudos to all the leadership, particularly out of the motorcycle unit, and he's member, like I said, he's one of three of our public service aide. But the North Miami Police Department commitment to zero tolerance for impaired drivers was recognized at this annual award, Mothers Against Drunk Driving Awards. And Miguel Pineda was the agency top producer in DUIs, and he was recognized. I don't think he's here this evening. Officer Stewart and Sherry also won the North Miami Cadets for their assistance and support. That was our Explorers. Is some of our Explorers here? Oh, come on up. And that's just a final example. They're just two of the 30 or 40 Explorers or cadets that we have. And then Traffic Homicide Unit also won it for the state here in the county for DUIs. And then lastly, if he could just one step forward, our motor officer, Duhamel Janit. He won the top award for his efforts in the DUI enforcement. So I thank you, Mayor, Council. I thank you for the opportunity for having the motors and the motorcycles that are out there as well. Job well done, man.
Thank you. That's a picture.
Photo. I heard the beep. I heard him. You did good. I know. He said, hold on. Good job. I'm going to put you back. All right. I want to tell all the rest.
Second presentation, gonna go to North Miami Park and Recreation Department. You said the city of North Miami. No. Where's where's Park and Rec and Mr. Derek Cooker, come please. Derek. You said North Miami Park and Recreation Department in honor of National Parks and Recreation Month. The city of North Miami recognizes your department for your continuous dedication and services to the residents in our community. Your commitment is greatly appreciated and held at the highest regards. Presented today on this 8 days of July 2014. Thank you.
Thank you all. From the Parks and Rec Department, we want to let everyone know that July is Parks and Rec month, so please get out and be active in your parks as much as possible. We have a lot of events that take place, a lot of classes and activities, so please check us out on the North Miami website under Parks and look out for Parks and Recreation for the city of North Miami. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I didn't pull it. I'll send it over to you. That's it.
Our next one gonna be certificate of recognition in honor of National Culinary Arts. This month we also celebrate National Culinary Art Month. In honor of the culinary arts, we recognize an organization that has dedicated time and effort in the production of the annual Taste of Haiti event in North Miami for the past 2 years. Tonight we recognize the Haitian Culinary Alliance, represented this evening by Chief Alain Lemaire. Oh, the chef. Oh, that's it. Chef. Sorry. Chef. Thank you to Chef Alain Lemaire. And do we have another presentation? We're not going to have that. We change it to what is the next one. Now I'm going to ask the CPND department, Mrs. Tanya, to come forward. I don't have it here.
Should we clap for Tanya?
And can you tell us what who we're gonna recognize tonight as a presentation?
I'm happy to present the Civic Space Competition Award winners for tonight. As many of you are aware, the city issued a call for ideas back in April of this year. We invited university participants to join us as we worked on the redevelopment and revitalization of the city's downtown. We're excited about the partnership. One, it gave us an opportunity to really harness the creative talent that's in our region. We were able to partner with FAU, FIU, and students from University of Miami, and we requested for these architectural and urban design students to propose ideas of how North Miami could transform its civic spaces in the downtown. To our surprise, we had over 20 students that were interested, and they were vying for the final award of receiving an internship opportunity with the Cordino Group. So you'll notice out in the gallery area, we have several architectural renderings and drawings on display. We invite you to take a look at those proposals that were submitted. But tonight I want to recognize the winner for the Civic Space Award. We have in our midst Mr. Camilo Lopez, and if Camilo could come forward. He's been recognized with a Certificate of Excellence for his proposal on urban design ideas for the city's civic space, very innovative ideas that were proposed to transform the civic spaces throughout the city's downtown. And we want to recognize Camilo tonight for his ingenuity and creative proposal. He is an architectural student, majoring in architecture at Florida Atlantic University, and he's actually the winner of our civic space competition. We want to recognize him. We also have a representative from the Cordino Group, Mr. Alex David, that will be here tonight just to give him the offer of internship. He'll be starting working this week as an intern with the Cordino Group. So we're excited about that. We want to recognize him for partnering with the city for our revitalization effort for the city's downtown area. We also want to recognize two additional students that we believe are worthy of recognition and praise tonight for being second and third runner-up. We have in our midst Mr. Brad Ben Moshe, and Brad is also a student at FAU. FAU really came out as the the top candidates in the pool that we had for the 20s. So we know we have a faculty here tonight from FAU. We want to recognize the faculty that's in our midst, Mr. Schneidman, also from the urban planning program at FAU. A remarkable proposals that we received from that university. So Mr. Ben Moshe for honorable recognition. We also have the last person that we want to recognize, Ms. Shanae Clark. Shanae's here. remarkable submittal from Ms. Shanae Clark. She made several innovative proposals for outdoor gathering spaces within our downtown civic spaces, so we want to recognize her for the efforts that were made. These are the 3 students that submitted proposals. We think it's just a starting point for us as a city when we harness the creative abilities of the university environment and folks that are within our region that can assist North Miami as we move forward as a city of progress. So tonight, these are our 3 finalists, and we have an overall winner, Mr. Camilo, that we want to recognize before Mayor and Council.
For the last presentation, I'm going to call the Deputy City Manager, Dr. Liman Claude.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The hurricane season is from June 1st to November 30th of each year. That means we are more than 1 month into the hurricane season. We have been fortunate to have several quiet hurricane seasons. However, we should stay focused and be prepared because hurricanes are inevitable. I would like to start this presentation by presenting the North Miami Disaster Management Team, a group of 4 employees who work together to prepare, to help the city prepare and be in compliance for the hurricane season and for disaster in general. I would like to start with Ms. Natasha Colebrook-William, our Planning Section Chief. Natasha. Sergeant David Rosen, Liaison Officer. Major Neil Crevice and myself, emergency managers. You want to join us at the podium? In preparation to this hurricane season, North Miami has revised the emergency operation plan, participated in the Governor Hurricane Conference in Orlando the week of May 12, updated the National Incident Management Chart, and conducted a hurricane mock exercise on June 4th. A total of 71 employees across from the 19 city departments participated in the June 4th mock exercise that was led by Mr. Charles Cyril, who is the Bureau Manager of the Office of Emergency Management, Miami-Dade County Fire Rescue Department. Tonight, we want to recognize Mr. Cyril for leading our employees to a challenging 3-hour mock exercise. At this point, I'm inviting Mr. Charles Cyril and his boss, Mr. Kurt Sommerhoff, Emergency Management Director for Miami-Dade County, to come to the podium and receive the award.
He said, for your outstanding facilitation of the City of North Miami 2014 Hurricane mock exercise, your innovative and interactive training provide invaluable knowledge and instruction to the North Miami Emergency Response Team. Thank you very much.
you have a chance, Mr. Charles Searle and Mr. Summeroff, you have a chance to say a couple of words.
I'd just like to thank Mr. Mayor, the council members, Dr. Claude, of course, and the emergency management team. It's truly an honor to be recognized by the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Claude. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members. Thank you very much. Emergency management's all about partnerships. We've got a great partner here in the city of North Miami, so we thank you very much for your partnership.
Thank you, and that concludes our presentation for tonight. Mr. City Manager, City Event.
I'd like to call Pam Solomon.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and to our viewers at home on NoMi TV 77. I'd like to share with you a few of our highlight events for the month of July and some save the dates for the month of August as we move on with our city events. This Friday, July 11th, we have a workshop, a public workshop hosted by Acting Mayor Philip Biename, and it's regarding our single-family home beautification program for District 3. If you are a resident of District 3 of the city of North Miami, we invite you to come out to learn about this program. It's a repair and rehabilitation grant that has been established to address aging and deteriorating homes in District 3. The program is funded through the city of North Miami's District 3 capital improvement allocation, and it aims to improve the exterior facade of the homes by providing various repairs. For more information, you can contact the Community Planning and Development Department by dialing our City Hall main line at 305-893-6511, extension 12165. Or you can come out to the workshop this Friday, July 11th at Griffin Community Center, located at 12220 Griffin Boulevard, from 4 to 7:30 p.m. On Friday, July 18th, the North Miami Police Department and the Police Athletic League of North Miami is hosting their annual Strokes for Success golf tournament. This is their annual fundraiser that helps with all of the PAL programs that are hosted for the youth in North Miami throughout the year. That will take place at 1 p.m. On Friday, July 18th. You can visit our website at northmiamipolice.com for the flyer for the Strokes for Success golf tournament and help to give back to the North Miami Police Athletic League. Thank you for supporting our programs. On Friday, July 25th, we have our Jazz at Mocha, the South Florida's longest running free outdoor jazz concerts. This month, we are featuring Antonio Madruga. The concert is free. It's at 8 p.m. here in the Mocha Plaza, right next door to City Hall, located at 770 Northeast 125th Street. For more information, you can visit NoMi.org or contact the museum at 305-893-6211. Throughout the summer, we are hosting our summer backpack and school supply drive. This is an ongoing effort through the Office of the Mayor and Council. We've been hosting for several years now. We are accepting donations right here at City Hall on the second floor until July 25th. And there are a list of supplies that we need along with the new backpacks, which we will fill and distribute at our Back to School Bash and Community Resource Fair event, which will take place on Saturday, August 2nd at Cagney Park.
And that's one of the save the dates that I have for you for August. The Back to School Bash and Community Resource Fair, Saturday, August 2nd at at Cagney Park, 13498 Northeast 8th Avenue. It's basically on the field space of North Miami Senior High School. And the event is from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. And come out with your families to enjoy not only the backpack and school supply giveaways, but we have a variety of health screenings to gear up for the back to school time. And we also have community health partners that are there offering diagnostic screenings for the entire family. So for more information, you can visit our Celebrate site at northmiamifl.gov/celebrate. This is a free event for the community, so come out and enjoy it. Of course, back to school time, the first day of school is August 18th for Miami-Dade County Public Schools, so make a note of that. On Tuesday, August 5th, we have our National Night Out Against Crime community events. Those are coordinated by the North Miami Police Department Community Services section, along with a variety of community groups. So far, we have 2 events that are being hosted that evening. One will take place at Johnson & Wales University, hosted by Gateway Family Foursquare Church, and we have one hosted by Councilwoman Maria Lansteril at the Sunkist Grove Community Center. So make a note of that date, Tuesday, August 5th. Come out, enjoy with your neighbors, come out and meet the community, meet the police officers that serve and protect our community here in North Miami every single day. And more information on those events will also be posted on our Celebrate site as they are finalized. Once again, that's northmiamifl.gov/celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tonight we have 5 items in a consent agenda. Can I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second. Anyone wish to record a no?
Tab F, proposed resolution of the Vice Mayor as acting mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, approving the City Administration's ranking and selection of Roadway Construction, LLC, as the lowest responsible contractor to furnish all materials, equipment, facilities, tools, supplies, supervision, and services required for the engineering, construction, installation, improvement, commission, startup, and testing of a force main in accordance with the terms, conditions, and specifications contained in the invitation for bid number 37-13-14, Northeast 131st Street, Force Main Improvement Project, and further authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement to complete the project at a cost not to exceed $639,545.78, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Thank you very much, Mr. City Manager. Can you
Sure.
brief us on that tab F?
Yeah, through the mayor. What this item is actually addressing a design that was done by Kimley Horn and Associates for a sanitary sewer force main. We are actually upsizing the force main along Northeast 2nd Avenue and between 131st Street and 135th Street at a cost of $639,545. Funding for this project is actually through the SRF, or State Revolving Fund loan, and also city utility funds. This is one of the projects that was outlined in the city's peak flow management study, which through Miami-Dade County we have to be compliant with, and also the city's sanitary sewer master plan.
Why is sponsored by city administration? When you're talking about city administration, who are you referring to?
Sorry?
When you say sponsored by city administration, are you referring to who? Which department?
Oh, it's from the Public Works Department.
Why is not Public Works Department sponsoring it? If I have question about that, then I'll think the administration.
Yeah. Well, if you have questions, I'll bring up the interim director right now to answer for any further questions.
May I pick up?
Not yet. You say Who are you gonna call?
The interim director.
Okay. And public hearing is open on tab F.
I have a question on what you just asked. Can I
Oh.
just follow up?
Yeah, go ahead.
When I read it, I think what I understood the acting mayor says is that all the other item sponsored by a specific department, and it's named the department.
Correct.
So why this one is different?
That's
Like
not the only
city
one. We
admi-
have some.
yeah.
As
So
city
why don't we?
administration.
Why don't we?
All of them
All
said
right.
city administration.
Point
And
of
then-
clarification, when the agenda was put together, Mr. Pierre-Louis was not here at that meeting when the agenda was finalized.
So it's
But he's-
it's city
we-
manager's office that actually
The,
sponsor
the,
it.
the assistant public works director, I had changes made to the agenda item. The assistant public works director and myself made the changes and put it on.
Okay.
Okay.
I have
Public-
another question. If may I?
Let's open public
last-
hearing and then after
Just that.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Last council meeting, I think one of the agenda says director, but right now I'm hearing interim. What
That's
happened?
correct.
There's
The paperwork is not finalized. I'm finalizing it.
okay, so he's not the director yet. He's still the interim director.
That's correct.
Okay.
Thank you. Public hearing is open on tab F. Public hearing is open on tab F. Public hearing is still open on tab F. Public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion to approve or for discussion?
Move approval?
Second. Anyone wish to record a no? Mr. City Clerk?
Item passes 4-0. Tab G, proposed resolution of the Vice Mayor as acting mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, approving the city administration's ranking and selection of Jones Benitez Corporation as the lowest responsible contractor to furnish all labor, materials, equipment, facilities, tools, supplies, maintenance of traffic, route, pruning, sprinkler, and driveway repairs, restoration of abutting areas, and other related services required for sidewalk replacement and installation at specified locations in accordance with the terms, conditions, and specifications contained in the invitation for bid number 43-13-14, sidewalk replacement and new installation project, District 3, and further authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement to complete the project at a cost not to exceed $181,570, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Thank you. Some explanation?
Actually, Mr. Mayor, this item is part of the capital improvement allocation of $750,000 allocated in your fiscal budget 14-15. This is for improvements and sidewalk replacement in District 3, which is representing your district. Approximately $181,000 for all the areas that a new sidewalk is required and replacement of existing sidewalks that have been uplifted and broken.
You said two things. You said 750,000 has been allocated.
750
for the
for
city.
capital improvement projects in the 14-15 allocation.
Okay. You say 14-15.
Sorry, 13-14 allocation.
Oh, okay. Public hearing is now open on tab G. Public hearing is now open on tab G. Public hearing is now open on tab G. Public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion?
Move approval?
Second.
Anyone wish to record a no?
I have a question, if I'll be
Go ahead.
allowed. How much money left on that $750,000 from the capital improvement money?
I believe we have a little over 500,000 remaining.
Okay, so are you in the process of having any other sidewalk done in any other district yet, or? That's phase one. How do you do it? Do you do it by phase, by district? How do you divide the money?
There's another allocation of sidewalks for Councilwoman Key's district, and that's an IFB that is on the street right now. Potentially an allocation or recommendation to award would be within the next 2 weeks.
But I did ask you for some sidewalks in my district. Has been implemented or is in the process?
Is in the process. We're putting together a list like what we did with all the other districts. We put together a list of sidewalk improvements, and then we send it out for bid as part of the scope of services.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. It's passed. Right? I already said that. Anyone wish to record a no on item
G.
On item G?
Item passes 4-0. Tab H, proposed resolution of the Vice Mayor as acting mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, approving the city administration's ranking and selection of SA Consultants, LLC, as the lowest responsible contractor to provide all materials, labor, equipment, tools, supervision, and related services necessary for the interior renovation and remodeling of the City of North Miami Public Library in accordance with the terms, conditions, and specifications contained in the invitation for bid number 36-13-14, renovation and remodeling of City Public Library project, and further authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement to complete the renovation project at a cost not to exceed $730,000, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Thank you. This one is about the library.
Yeah, this is actually, you had, through the mayor and to the council, we had several presentations from Ziskovich Architects who have done all the interior renovations, proposed interior renovations for the library. And this is just the selection process. All the architectural drawings and permitting has been obtained. Company has been selected, which is SA Consulting LLC. And in your package, there's also a list of bidders. SA Consulting is the lowest bidder on the advertised bid, and we are recommending that an award to SA Consulting.
What they're going to be doing in the library, inside or outside?
Complete internal renovation within certain areas of the library.
You're talking about inside?
Internal, yes.
Okay. Public hearing is now open on tab H. Do we have a presentation? No? No. Okay. Public hearing, it's open on tab H. Public hearing is open on tab H. Public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion?
Move for approval, but I do have one question.
Go ahead.
Second.
Mr. Mayor, my question is, when does the library shut down, and when does the library reopen during the renovation process?
Through the mayor, Lucia Gonzalez, library director.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council, city manager. The library will be closed during the construction project. We will be closed to the public and reopen when the project is completed. It is estimated.
Who's second the motion?
Wait. She seconded. She.
What just happened?
For the record, that was Jacques Despinoz.
Go ahead. Go ahead, ma'am.
It is estimated to be an approximate 120 days, no more than 120 days, that the library will be closed to the public, and we
You're
are
talking about 4 months, right? Yeah, about 4
120
months.
days, 4 months.
Okay, what about when you're going to close it? Do you have a date, closing date?
As soon as we have the start date for the construction, that will be the closing date, giving 2 weeks prior to the starting date, because we need to move and relocate the entire collection of the library, all 100,000 volumes. We need to dismantle all the shelving and also store them. And according to the storage company, It takes about 1 week, so we need to prepare for the closing and then do the moving and the storing.
That's mean there is no way of doing one part, and when we finish, we move it to the next part. We don't have to close the entire library for 4 months. No.
It is my understanding that closing the library accelerates or allows us to complete the project quicker and at a better cost.
Okay. And another question, we're going to have an election, and I know for the early voting, we're going to have, that's the site we're going to be using. And
through the mayor, that area is already considered for the elections. We have already discussed it with the clerk. That area would not be touched as this part of the construction.
The section for the election.
Dessalines Victor wing would not be touched during this construction phase.
Okay.
Well,
okay?
Yeah, we went back and forth with the consulting with Ziskovich, and it is that section will be untouched and ready for the elections.
Okay, thank you. Public.
I'm sorry. I'm still hoping for an answer. When will we close and when will we open? I get we close at the beginning and we open at the end.
Okay.
What's the beginning and what's the end?
A notice to proceed to the contractor has not been issued. When a notice to proceed is issued, we have 10 to 14 days to start the closure process. And
July 30th.
Oh, I'm sorry.
August.
We're looking at the end of July. At the end of July for the closure process.
Okay, so I should prepare to tell constituents the library will be closed August 1st through the end of the new year or into the current year?
Probably we will be reopening towards the end of fall. We will immediately, as soon as we have a specific date, we will let everyone know. We'll go to the radio stations, local radio stations, all the local schools. Everyone will be aware of our closing dates and reopening of the library.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Public hearing is still open on tab. City Clerk, is tab the
Mayor, it's tab H.
And we public hearing is open on tab H. Public hearing is open on tab H. Public hearing is now closed on tab H. Is there a motion?
Yes, Mayor. We had a motion that was made by Councilman Galvin. It was seconded by Councilwoman Sterrill.
We don't need a roll call. We just, okay. Anyone wish to record a no?
Passes 4-0. Tab I. Proposed resolution of the Vice Mayor as acting mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, approving and adopting the attached policy for permitting commercial use of dedicated city parklands and facilities for personal training and other outdoor private professional services to be implemented and enforced by the Parks and Recreation Department, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
And
yeah. Through the mayor, this item, what it is actually allowing our Parks Department to have an approval process, a new approval process for citizens that conduct private fitness sessions, private Tai Chi lessons at our parks facilities.
you're talking about outside or inside?
In I will turn it over to our Parks Director.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Derek Corker, Parks and Rec Director. Yes, as it is for outside usage. Currently, we have a lot of people in the city that are like to be healthy and fit, which is great. But we have liability when it comes to a lot of the usage of the facilities being used, and they're bringing equipment, tires, chains, ropes, and they're training. They're training people where people are paying them. And we have no ability to, they're doing boot camp, so we have no ability to shut them down. So this process, we don't want to close it, but we want to streamline the process. We want to be able to have it recognized that they provide insurance to the city of North Miami as an additional shareholder. They pay a small nominal fee of $50 for a permit. It is for 6 months. It's good for 6 months, so they have to renew every 6 months. They provide us a schedule of activities. So if they're going to be out there Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, they're going to provide us the schedule, and we're going to tell them the facilities that they can utilize. Right now, we have problems at a lot of our facilities. We want to bring that down to only 4 facilities: Griffin, Pepper Park, Enchanted, and the stadium are the 4 facilities that we will allow that type of usage at designated areas and designated times.
Talking about outside, let's see,
outside.
I'm a professional trainer and I have like 5 or 6 people. I come outside with them. How you gonna
Correct.
ask me not to use?
We're going to ask you to.
facility?
Our staff is going to provide them the information and where they can find the application. Online, it will be online if this is approved. Also, they can go online and they can come to the city's Parks Department to get an application. They submit their application. They pay their permit. We provide them a permit card. That permit card allows them, the dates and times that they select, that we allow them to be there. Right now, we're having a lot of issues sometimes with our little leagues, and a lot of our clubs are using our facilities from city usage. And we have constituents or residents or private fitness instructors that are coming out with groups of people, 20, 30 people, and they're, taking over some of our park usage facilities from our normal activities that are going on from the Parks Department outside.
Okay, is it applied to all other cities or with only one that?
There are a few cities that have designated applications throughout the country. I did do some research and found that there are a few. You have Lighthouse Point in Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood. Miami Beach actually has a application also for fitness instructors. So there are a few cities that are coming aboard because the liability that it brings to us. If someone gets injured there, we are at fault.
Public hearing is now open on tab. It's public hearing. Question for me. Okay, go ahead.
You said that they're going to be allowed to use limited amount of, only a couple of parks.
Correct.
But not all the parks.
Not all the parks. Not all the parks are
Why?
conducive with the space that they would need. So we want to make sure that we give them ample space, and those facilities that we have listed have ample space for them to utilize.
If someone come, they have like 2 or 3 members only that they want to use, but they want a specific park. But are you going to tell them that they're not allowed because of space when they don't need the amount of space that you offered them? I don't quite understand.
The application, yes, would allow them for the 4 designated sites that we are proposing.
I understand that, but I'm not feeling the reason why not all the parks are open. I understand that the department wants a certain designated area to be used, but you're not giving me a reason why not all the parks.
The first thing through the mayor, Madam Councilwoman, is the city would have more control by having these 4 parks designated. The type of activities that Mr. Coker is describing is personal training activities which require greater space or a larger amount of space for people to come out. And if you have students, the smaller facilities that we have is not conducive for additional activities that we're talking
Give me a couple
about.
of the smaller parks that we're referring
Clyde
to.
Judson is not sufficient because of the amount of space that we have here. If you want to do a Nautilus track,
Are
or
we
you want to
talking
do
about the building or the park?
open space, we are not
Open
talking about the
space.
building. That's correct.
Okay, Clyde Johnson and where else?
Keystone Point. You have Keystone. You have Griffin. You have Keystone. You have Breeze Swept. Breeze Swept is the activities there currently. You have a basketball court. You have the playground. There's not a lot of open space, green space, for that to be utilized. So if someone's there with 3 or 4 people and you have activities still taking place, the basketball, you have the parents on the playground equipment, you won't have any space, and then you have an opportunity for injuries for someone, either a kid or a participant playing basketball or the actual fitness person or fitness participants that are there. So we would like to have the designated sites that have conducive enough space where they can utilize and not be in harm of hurting anyone else or hurting themselves.
Well, those rules will apply only for commercial purposes,
Correct.
or if a person like a professional trainer has a couple of friends but they wants to use the park to use the park. So would they be falling under those set of rules, or?
If I can give you a hypothetical scenario.
Because I know that will come up.
Pepper Park, we have tons of people walking Pepper Park.
Mm-hmm.
If you're walking and you're out freely walking, or you're walking with friends and you're having a social event but you're trying to exercise, that's still fine. That's still open to the public to do. We don't have a problem. The issue that we have is when we have those professional trainers that are charging participants at our facilities, and they have bringing out tires, they're bringing out chains, they're bringing out a lot of different equipment, kettlebells, and they're using this equipment inside the park facilities, where you have kids riding bikes, where you have the playground activity, basketball and other activities taking place. There's an opportunity for a lot of injuries to happen, and we want to try to confine those and limit the injuries or liability to the city.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
Thank you. Public hearing is open on tab I. Public hearing is open on tab I. Public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion on the floor?
Move approval.
Approval. Do you have questions, Council?
I do.
Yes, go ahead.
Do we need a second, or?
I second it.
A second.
Okay. I'm very against this item, and I don't think we should be legitimizing this type of activity in our city. If we don't want these heavy equipment on there, then I think we should put prohibitions in our park, no bells, no big ropes in there. I think legitimizing this type of activity is just going to bring more people to be using our parks for personal, commercial enterprise. I don't know how we're going to monitor this. I don't know how we're going to check every time. Are people going to have their licenses? I think the insurance is not adequate that we've got in here. You're charging $50, and I don't think there's a price you can put on. I'm not saying raise the permit fees, but $50 for 6 months. You hold one class and you make more than $50, because I know you go do a yoga class on the yard, it's $20, $30. You have language in here that this person is going to indemnify the city. When somebody gets hurt, when they don't clean up our park, when they leave gashes or whatever, or they mess up our park, they're going to indemnify us, and how are we going to collect from these people? I just think it's a bad idea. I think we're opening our parks to some commercial activity. People from all over the county or wherever are going to say, gee, I don't have to pay for a facility. I can go over to one of those North Miami parks. I can make a fortune, and that's where I'm going to set up my shop. And I think we are opening the gates to something really bad, opening liability for the city, and I think we're going to bring a lot of classes in where the rest of our residents and citizens are not going to be able to utilize, enjoy the nice parks, because it's going to be full of classes. So I'm just totally against it.
If I understand Councilwoman Keys, and by having those people paying and have a certificate, now we become liable. The liability going to be on us now, since we're charging them.
No. We're legitimizing their operations in our city.
Mayor and Council, if I may. Councilwoman, what we're trying to do is streamline the process, because currently now we have a lot of those activities that you're speaking about at our park
Then
facilities.
let's prohibit them. Don't legitimize it and get more there.
Well,
Sorry.
I mean, I wouldn't want to prohibit everyone from having physical fitness, because I think it's very important for all of us to be physically fit and healthy. We are a healthy city, but we want to make sure that we streamline the process, that we know who these people are, so if there is something that happens, we have their insurance, we have them on file, and we can go back to them and have them.
$50 permit every 6
this is
months
what
just is not going to.
I understand. Councilman Scott Galvin make the motion and seconded by Council.
I'd like to withdraw my motion.
Withdraw the motion, and can we table that item, and maybe we can discuss and sit down with everybody to make sure we're on board and we understand, and this is where we want to go. Okay.
May I, Mr. Mayor, just to clarify?
Go ahead.
I like we need to do something, because I recognize people are making money off of our parks, but Where she won me over was when she said $50 for 6 months is a joke. I mean, we gotta be talking about hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, because otherwise, she's absolutely right. You do one class and one person has already paid for your permit. It's too much wear and tear on our city. We're the ones gonna have to pick and clean up the park. You get where I'm coming from.
Unless our city should have these programs, we should be offering fitness, we should be offering Tai Chi
Boot
more,
camps and-
utilizing our parks. We should be doing it, not letting somebody make money off of us and us not being able to monitor what's going on. So,
If I
I would
understand,
like more programs, but we should be doing it.
We do offer fitness classes at
If we
Joe
table the
Celestine.
item, why are we discussing the item?
I think
yeah,
something need to be done about it. That's mean you're gonna bring it back, but you're gonna sit down with everybody to make sure we're on
To
board.
make
have
sure
to vote
everybody's
on
on
it?
board.
Do we have to vote on
You
it?
have to vote?
table, or?
No, everybody's on.
Okay. No,
So item,
was talking to the
item tabled.
There is no motion.
Yeah, no
Die
motion.
anyway.
So is it tabled or is it? then
No,
I'll make a
Withdraw his
motion,
motion.
and I'll make a further motion to continue this to our next
I
meeting.
second.
Okay.
whenever it's held.
Anyone wishes to record a no? Item has been tabled by a 4-0 vote.
Okay.
Tab J. Proposed resolution of the Vice Mayor as acting mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida regarding the removal of approximately 194,000 cubic yards of filled material containing concentrations of aluminum above target cleanup levels obtained from the Brickell City Centra, currently stockpiled on the premises commonly referred to as the Biscayne Landing Site, as well as authorizing the city manager to begin the appraisal process and negotiate a formal agreement for the sale to Olita Partners, Inc. of approximately 50 acres of property known as the residential parcel, substantially in accordance with Olita's exclusive purchase option rights under the Biscayne Landing Lease Agreement, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
City Attorney, it's give us some explanation, give us some more information about the item. I don't
sure.
know who's gonna.
Okay, good evening. Lido Partners has provided a proposal to the city to remove the fill that has been on the site for some time. And they have also requested to begin the process to purchase approximately 50.6 acres of what we call the residential parcel on the Biscayne Landing site. This resolution would allow Olita and the city to begin the negotiation for the purchase, as well as to trigger the soil removal plan that Olita would provide to the city.
Meaning what? Meaning, first of all, you're going to have a comprehensive plan about the removal of the soil?
Correct. In order to comply with the city's mandate to remove the soil from the site, they will provide to the city a removal plan. As you know, because of the condition of the soil, the removal plan has to be is governed by DERM, and so that there are permits that were required, and so on and so forth. So a removal plan will be required, and they will submit that to the city for your consideration.
Thank you. Public hearing is open.
Hi, Alita Rosenfeld, Keystone Point. I have a couple of, my phone. You?
Mr. City Manager,
Here we go.
are there any presentation by Olita Partners, or do you want to hear from them first and then after that?
Oh, you want me to sit down and
No,
do a
I'm asking. I don't know.
presentation?
I
There's
don't
a
know yet.
presentation. You want to do it before or after the?
Or we'll do it after.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, a couple of questions. First of all, it seems like two topics are lumped into one, the removal of contaminated soil and the appraisal of the property. I would have preferred that to be separated. The contaminated soil, was that the soil that was there, or was that the fill that was brought in that was contaminated and that they have to bring back out again? I was unclear about that issue. And again, I'd like the appraisal to be separated, and the Biscayne Landing's proposal to buy this land to be separate from the fill issue. I feel like they're two
Your first question,
completely separated.
what you want to know exactly?
The first question?
About
The
the
first
fill you
question,
say.
I was wondering about the fill. I remember reading that some contaminated fill was brought in to the Biscayne Landing site at one point, and the city was arguing for them to naturally bring it back out. Was this the contaminated fill that was brought in, or is this fill that they're digging out from under the property that was already existing that they're trying to get rid of? That's my first question.
City, can you answer?
I believe the fill that you're questioning is the fill from the city center site.
Yes.
And it's approximately 194,000 cubic yards. This is the fill that we are speaking about.
Is this the fill then that was brought in to this site? It was contaminated fill that whoever Biscayne Landings LLC, I'm sorry, I don't know the name, but they brought in contaminated fill, and of course, they should be responsible for taking it out. No question about that.
This is the fill in question, yes.
Very good. I don't see why there's a question. If they brought in contaminated fill to a site, I think that should stand alone, and they have a complete responsibility to bring it out. The reason I'd like that proposal to be separate from the proposal to buy the area is I'd like to make sure that they act responsibly on this issue before we go into the next issue of appraising it and giving them a license to buy the fill, because I don't feel like in this particular issue it was completely sound logic that they brought in contaminated fill to an area that they were supposed to be cleaning up. I mean, that was the whole basis for them to come in there. It was to clean up a contaminated site. Instead, they brought fill in. I'd like that issue to be resolved, cleaned up, and off the table before we give them a second chance to prove that they have,
Thank
a reason. Thanks.
Thank you. Public hearing is open. Yes, sir.
Good evening. Frank Woland, 12865 West Dixie Highway. I guess I have to speak fast. I think Ms. Rosenfeld makes a good point, and I think whatever matters come before you should have a single purpose. And getting rid of the dirty fill is one thing, and them buying 50 acres is something very different. And when you tie them together, you're kind of suggesting, like, if you sell us 50 acres now so we can make another $50 million, we'll spend $2 million to remove the dirty fill that we put on the site, a year ago. So meanwhile, the council voted in November to require them to remove the dirty fill. The council sent formal notice directing them to remove the fill. Now it's like 8 months later. They haven't done anything to remove the fill. It's got slag, which contains silicates, which poses a cancer risk. It's supposed to be wet down every day, but they don't do that, even though they're supposed to maintain it in compliance with the stockpile management plan. They don't do that. Thank goodness it rains every day. Otherwise, this is blowing around for the people in our city or who visit Costco to breathe. Not good. And what does this have to do with buying the land? Because when they sold the Biscayne Landings contract to us and counted how many hundreds of millions of dollars, and I invite Mayor Burns or Mayor Celestin or anybody who's here who remembers it, maybe you remember it, Councilman Galvin, how many hundreds of millions of dollars were we going to get over the 200 years? So now they're going to offer us a pocket full of silver. And are you doing an economic study to see how many $1 million you're going to lose by getting $50 million in your hand? No. You're voting to go ahead with the appraisal and to do it. Please, study it first. Separate these issues. If you pass this resolution, the next item is bringing the formal agreement to the City Council for final approval as soon as reasonably possible. They're in a big hurry to buy the land. There's no hurry to remove the fill. Please. Doesn't pass the smell test.
Public hearing is open.
Eileen Previtel, 12000 North Bayshore Drive. I will be very I agree absolutely with Mr. Wallen. But I'm also happy if we're going to come to some kind of compromise so that we can get going with this. I look at Biscayne Boulevard and all I see are auto dealerships and fast food. You don't have that to the north or the south of us. And I don't know the exact figures, but I thought that the property was sold for $17 million and that the auto dealership, just 4 acres, was sold by them for almost that amount. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But I would be happy to get going on any kind of a project and stop wasting our money. Thank you.
Thank you.
Enoch Marianne, 12620 Northeast 4th Avenue. This has been going on long times ago. And I think it's time to give them a chance and have good opportunity for the residents of North Miami. If they're willing to clean it, let them clean it. If they're willing to buy it, let them buy it. And so then we can find a solution to the residents of North Miami. Because we have the largest people not working in North Miami. I think that would be a good opportunity for people who live in North Miami to get yourself a jobs. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Councilman, Councilwoman, Mr. Manager, congratulations. Andrew Hellinger on behalf of the 151 Biscayne Condominium Association. I rise in support of the item, and I do so because the Oaks, the 151 Biscayne, is near construction. We've applied for a construction permit on a guardhouse. We're finishing up plans on our pool house, and we'll apply for that permit as well. We need coordination with our neighbor at Oleta, and we've come to an agreement with them that cannot be signed by them until they know that they have certainty with the city. So the fill comes into the picture because when the city and Oleta started fighting over the fill, the requirements that the city and staff placed on us to get approvals of the 151 project, that we enter into an agreement with Oleta, that we agree to master associations, we agree to the governance of Biscayne Landing as part of a larger parcel. Those items we agreed to in principle with Oleta and with the city, and they've been documented, but they've been unsigned. And as we near the process of starting construction, the commitments that they've made have economic impact on our project and on that land. And that has been in hiatus while the fill has been an issue. So now they say, okay, we'll remove the fill. We say, great. We should be able to implement those things that the city and the staff and your manager, when he was Public Works Director, wanted us to do, because the fill will be gone and they will have some certainty. My understanding is that in their lease, they already have the right to make a proposal to buy the land. And so I get from this that they've said, okay, we need to move forward. We want to be a good tenant and do what we ought to do. We're going to remove the fill. But we also want to have more certainty in our development, so we want to buy the land. And by the way, we have that right. And you're being asked by the manager to go appraise the land. It's not committing to a contract. But it gives some certainty that we're moving forward and there's not stagnation. Right now you have stagnation. We need progress, and we would anticipate that if there is a sale of that land, it's probably going to be to a new entity, that the very same hurdles that we were imposed upon by us, by your staff and your prior manager, also be imposed as part of that contract process. In other words, that master association and the things that need to be agreed to, and our agreement itself. Thank you.
Public hearing still open.
Good evening, Carol Prager, 2509 Northeast 135 Street. I hope you could bear with me. My first question is, have we already reached an agreement to have the soil removed? We have not reached an agreement to have the soil removed?
That's what we're voting on tonight.
That's what you're voting on tonight. So, in the interest of clarification for the citizens, perhaps you need to separate the two questions or the two items in this tab because people have confusion. If you remedy the soil, then we can talk about the sale of property and what the value of that is separately. I don't think you're giving people the opportunity to weigh in on both of the issues. I want to see Biscayne Landing move forward. Remedying the soil should be done expeditiously so that we can go forward with some kind of vision here. I mean, I can't remember when this all started. How many years have we been entertaining development on 151st Street? I also, with all due respect to previous voters, previous speakers, sometimes I get the impression that some of the people come here with the purpose of slowing it down and hoping that it never happens. This was supposed to be the future of North Miami. Here we are talking about this again. How many months have you been talking about the soil? And now you're telling citizens you're going to sell property whose value we don't even know. This is just another travesty. Separate the two things so that citizens can come up here and talk about the two items separately.
Thank you. Public hearing is still open on tab J. Now, since we don't have any more residents, can we have the presentation by
Mr. Tillman?
They have 2 minutes, sir?
No.
No, it's a presentation.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. My name is Michael Tillman, Director of Florida Development and Acquisitions for LEFRAC, the majority partner in Olita Partners, which is the tenant at Biscayne Landings under the ground lease with the City of North Miami. I'm here tonight with members of my team. This is Camille Douglas, Herb Tillman, Darrell Lee, and Kerry Barsh and John Chasen. I'd like to thank you all for the opportunity to speak this evening. I'd like to outline some recent progress we've made with the development of Biscayne Landings, and then dive into a little bit more detail on the resolution set forth for the council this evening. Subsequent to receiving the necessary permits to commence the earthwork and horizontal development last month, Biscayne Landing Olita Partners has awarded its first contract to a contractor to begin the land preparation for the main thoroughfare or spine road of the site. This contract was awarded to DC Equipment, which is a local North Miami firm. While this is a small part of the project and it's only an 8-man job initially, 3 of those 8 members are all North Miami residents. So one of the key things here, this is just the beginning. However, it's the beginning of, 1, the long-awaited development, start of development of Biscayne Landings, and 2, the much-anticipated creation of jobs, which is something that has long been promised. As we are commencing the work and continuing through our site planning, we believe it to be an opportune time for us to discuss the exercise of our option in the ground lease to acquire the fee simple interest in the 50 acres of land known as the residential parcel. We believe it would be of mutual interest both to us and the City of North Miami to purchase the city's interest in the 50 acres, subject to the ground lease at the fair market value as determined by 2 independent appraisers chosen by the city, well, at least 2 independent appraisers chosen by the city and paid for by Olita. At the same time, in order to continue pushing forward with the development, we believe it to be a practical step for both parties to work towards and making the necessary amendments to the lease so that we can move more expeditiously in the development process. Should we be able to reach the terms of agreement on this framework, Olita does agree that it will remove the fill sourced from the city center site that has been a topic of conversation here for 8 to 9 months at this point. I put together this very large poster. I don't know if you want to have them zoom in.
That's fine. You can turn it for
Turn
them
it this
because
way
we
for
have that already.
Turn
No,
it
for the-
around
for
for
the
the audience to see.
Okay.
For the audience.
So you can see here the hashed red lines. This outlines the 50 acres out of the 183 that we would be talking about acquiring for the residential parcel. Now, I think it's important to understand that as the site plan evolves and as our discussion regarding negotiating this framework agreement, this formal agreement evolves, these may move around a little bit. But this is the general idea and the general outline showing just how large this overall property is and the 50 acres relative to the whole project. Mr. Mayor, City Council, we're at a critical crossroads for this project. And I believe that working together, the developer, elected and appointed officials, we're of a common mindset now to see this project finally move forward. We have taken the right first steps now, finally getting it moving, and I think that this would be the right next step to exploring and pushing this project forward so that everyone in the community can finally see the project that's been promised for so many years. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any question from the council about the presentation?
No.
No questions? No more question from the audience? Can I hear motion
I'd
to
like
move
to,
the item?
I'd like to make a motion to approve this resolution with a minor change in the wording of the one, it's aware of paragraph on page 2-4, and the paragraph is in the middle of the page, and it says the City Council agrees to allow Alita to exercise its option. I don't think that's what we're doing this evening, but I would like to change that to that the City Council agrees to start the beginning of to begin the process of negotiating the formal agreement.
Okay. Where has the city council agreed to start?
To start the process of negotiating their option to purchase. And I would like to do that for discussion.
That's, okay. It's a motion.
Approving this resolution with that amendment, if it's okay with our
Is there any other amendment, or should we vote amendment by amendment? If we have 2 or 3 amendments.
Well, let's see if we have, that may be the only amendment. So if that's the only amendment to the motion, then you can vote on that.
Before we move the motion, we second it. And Councilman Scott Galvin?
I like what the councilwoman has motioned, and it's critical that we move this project forward. I was very impressed to hear Andy Hellinger on behalf of the Oaks speak tonight, because it is absolutely critical that they finally get their amenities and get their guardhouse, and that's tied into this. We don't meet again until the beginning of September at this stage. So if we do nothing tonight, nothing happens for another 3 months, and that's bad. I also am hearing the residents saying that they'd like to separate out the 2 issues and vote on them separately. I'm only willing to totally do that if we're willing to come back here again in 2 weeks and ixnay on the summer vacation. Otherwise, I'll go with the councilwoman's amendment, because it's allowing us to make some progress over the summer months, yet still making sure we come back here to talk about the value of the land and how much we might pay for it, or get paid for it, I'm sorry. And all of those related things. And I hope we've impressed upon Alita Partners 1,000 times over now to get that soil out of there quickly, because it only complicates everything that you want to do. The longer it sits there, the more potential there is for nothing to happen. So I like what Councilman Keyes offers tonight.
Councilwoman Still? No question, but do you have question before?
I have comments once we get the motion.
Okay. No, you okay with that? Okay.